Thanks for staying with us. So, according to reports, an update from the Directorate of Public Prosecution under the Ministry of Justice in Lagos State issued a report on the death of Sylvester Oromoni Jnr. And they have exonerated the 5 students and the 5 employees whose names were mentioned over his death. Most Nigerians found it quite disappointing. Now, when the reports came out, a lot of Nigerians obviously took to social media, and there was a lot of anger. In fact, we saw a video of the mother obviously crying, not happy about the report. I think Sylvester's father also issued a press release. So we'd like to hear from Nigerians today. So when I read the report, obviously, when this happened, I mean, for those who probably needed clarity on what was going on, when the young boy passed away, the Ministry of Education Lagos State obviously waded in to see the family, and they reported to the Ministry of Justice that, okay, the boy has died. Please help us look into it. And that's when the police was invited to investigate. Now, based on what we had, the police immediately arraigned the boys. I think the 4 or 5 boys were involved. 5. Detained them, interrogated them, and I think they were even left. They were kept in the police custody for a while, in juvenile detention for a while. And then an autopsy was conducted on the side of the family first. So the doctor, the pathologist working with the family, conducted an autopsy in Warri and had their own conclusion. This same pathologist from Warri also joined the pathologists from the families of the 4 boys that were accused, plus pathologists from the Lasut and 3 policemen came together to do a transparent autopsy. The results for that, according to the report, corroborated what the pathologists from Warri initially had. So based on the reports that we've read, the boy unfortunately died of sepsis, now, which was caused by bacterial infection. Now, there are different ways we can look at this. So I would like to hear from Nigerians because there's so many questions unanswered. For example, was the boy bullied? The report didn't tell us that if he was bullied, because there's a possibility. There's a possibility that he was still bullied. Number 2, the boy who died said he was given substance to drink. The autopsy didn't confirm or refute it.
So I'm not unhappy that the boys are going on because, it would have been an injustice if they are innocent and they're made to face anything. But what this report, of course, is a pathologist report, cannot determine is that if there was bullying.
Yes.
If something happened in the hostel, that's what circumstantial evidence from other people who witnessed, the hostel mates, the room bunk mates or whatever, what they witnessed that night. And we've heard different accounts, but we've not heard about the police interrogating anybody within his room under their investigation. So that has not been established. Sepsis is an infection, as far as my layman understanding of it goes, that if it is detected earlier, it can be averted and the life of a person saved, but it can take the life of a person if left to fester for too long.
Yeah. There were many people that came out after this thing happened to say that this happened to my boy also in the same school. He was beaten by these same children. Was that part investigated at all? Because the only part I saw from this autopsy was that they checked his intestine to be sure, okay, what could have caused the death? Sometimes, maybe because we've watched too much, I have watched a lot of Hollywood, and I used to like watching a lot of thrillers and criminal movies. We might not have the full understanding of what happened. But I want to say for a fact that there are many people that confessed that they were also bullied and hurt in this school by these pupils. If they might not be guilty of killing a child, their actions might not have directly led to the death of this boy. But did they beat up that boy? If they did, that should be brought to
So, Tokwe, there are different layers. So right now we have an autopsy result, which is scientific, right? We're still waiting for the Ministry of Education to do the needful. Or then let us know what you're going to do to Dowen College. Because there's a different, just like you said, there's a scientific report we have from the Ministry of Justice conducted, right? But we're still waiting for that administrative regulation on the part of the Ministry of Education. Okay, what are you going to do to the school? What investigations will go on to ensure that if indeed bullying exists in that school, based on this thing you're saying, and other private schools, and even schools across the state, what's going to be done going forward to ensure, to forestall this from happening going forward? Yes, go ahead.
That was going to be my point exactly, because the thing is, there has been accusation of bullying in the school. Now, if there has been accusation of bullying in the school, this does not exonerate the school.
Absolutely.
This, in fact, even because, okay, sepsis could have been, the school said he played football. Maybe he did have a cut, and the bullying, the beating, opened the cut. Sepsis is an injury that has become infected. When it does not mean that that boy was not beaten.
Yes.
It does not mean that the beating did not cause the sepsis, because they could have injured him and sepsis set in because the school was negligent.
Yes.
There is negligence in this. Even from this report, the school is liable because there is negligence on the part of the school.
Very, very.
It should not have even been, sepsis should not even have been allowed to set in.
I know, I mean, I tell everybody, when I try to start this kind of conversations, I let everybody know that we're on the same page. We don't trust the government, right? We all don't trust the government. They're all liars. They've all collected money. Somebody is rich, somebody is influential. That is the mentality. And we all have it.
True.
But as we are having that mentality, let's use like 10% of our brain to say, okay, what if indeed these pathologies are said? What if money did not exchange them? What if? And let us, because 4 boys could have innocently gone to jail if indeed they didn't do anything. So let us look at both sides, and let's try to always look at the 360 degree. And that's why I say that this report cannot be the end of this conversation.
Yes, it's not conclusive.
It cannot, because this is just telling us scientifically.
Yes.
But doesn't mean that the bullying did not happen. Doesn't that boy wasn't beaten? Doesn't mean that sepsis wasn't aggravated based on the beating. Doesn't tell us that. So that could have happened.